The story of Fyodor Dostoevsky is not merely one of a writer who achieved literary greatness, but of a man who delved into the profound depths of human experience and emerged with insights that continue to shape our understanding of life, suffering, morality, and the pursuit of happiness. Born in 1821 in Moscow, Dostoevsky's early life was shaped by a strict and often oppressive family dynamic, an environment that set the stage for the existential and moral themes that would later permeate his works. As a young man, Dostoevsky's intellectual curiosity led him to immerse himself in literature and philosophy. He was captivated by the works of European Romanticists and Enlightenment thinkers, yet his own life experiences, marked by tragedy, financial hardship, and a deep spiritual yearning, pushed him toward questions that these traditions did not fully address. His early forays into writing, such as Poor Folk and The Double, reflect a nascent grappling with the tensions between societal norms and individual suffering. However, it was his arrest in 1849 for involvement with a group of intellectual dissidents that became a turning point in his life. Sentenced to death but spared at the last moment, Dostoevsky's mock execution and subsequent exile to Siberia plunged him into the crucible of human suffering. It was during this period of imprisonment that his worldview began to crystallize. Removed from the intellectual circles of St. Petersburg, Dostoevsky lived among criminals, outcasts, and the deeply impoverished. He came face to face with the raw realities of human nature, its capacity for cruelty, resilience, and redemption. His faith, which had been wavering, was rekindled, and he began to see the teachings of Christ as a lens through which to view human suffering and moral struggle. For Dostoevsky, suffering was not merely an affliction to be avoided, but a fundamental aspect of the human condition. He argued that it is through suffering that individuals come to know themselves and their deepest truths. In his masterpiece Crime and Punishment, the protagonist Raskolnikov embodies this philosophy. A man who rationalizes murder as a means to achieve a greater good, Raskolnikov's journey reveals the psychological and spiritual torment that arises from his actions. It is only through confession and the acceptance of suffering that he begins to find redemption. Dostoevsky saw this process as central to the human experience, a crucible through which moral clarity and spiritual growth emerge. This view of suffering stands in stark contrast to the modern Western emphasis on the pursuit of happiness. In a culture that often equates happiness with pleasure, success, and the avoidance of pain, Dostoevsky's ideas serve as a provocative counterpoint. He challenges us to consider whether true fulfillment can be found without a confrontation with suffering. His characters often grapple with this tension, embodying the contradictions of human desire and morality. Ivan Karamazov, in The Brothers. Karamazov rejects God on the grounds of innocent suffering, yet his anguish over this moral dilemma underscores the inescapable reality of human suffering and its implications for faith and meaning. Dostoevsky's exploration of morality is equally complex. He rejected the rationalist and utilitarian moral frameworks that were gaining prominence in his time. For Dostoevsky, morality was not a matter of adhering to abstract principles or maximizing collective happiness. Instead, it was deeply personal and relational, rooted in love, humility, and the recognition of the divine image in others. This perspective is powerfully illustrated in the character of Prince Mishkin in The Idiot, who embodies Christ-like compassion and innocence. Mishkin's moral purity, however, is met with ridicule and exploitation, highlighting the challenges of living morally in a flawed and often cynical world. In the modern Western world, where moral relativism and individualism often dominate, Dostoevsky's insistence on the relational and transcendent dimensions of morality offers a profound critique. He invites us to reconsider what it means to live morally in a culture that frequently prioritizes self-interest and personal fulfillment over communal responsibility and spiritual depth. His works suggest that morality cannot be divorced from the broader questions of human purpose and the ultimate meaning of life. Dostoevsky's views on happiness are similarly rooted in a deep understanding of human nature. He saw the desire for happiness as universal, but cautioned against simplistic or materialistic notions of what happiness entails. For Dostoevsky, true happiness was not found in wealth, power, or even freedom in the conventional sense. Instead, it was discovered through self-transcendence, love, and a connection to the divine. In Notes from Underground, the narrator's bitter diatribes against society and his own self-destructive tendencies reveal the emptiness of a life devoid of higher purpose. Dostoevsky suggests that the pursuit of happiness, when detached from spiritual and moral considerations, leads to alienation and despair. In the contemporary context, where the pursuit of happiness is often enshrined as an individual's ultimate goal, Dostoevsky's insights challenge us to think more deeply about what we truly seek. He understood that human beings are not merely rational actors, pursuing pleasure and avoiding pain. We are creatures of profound spiritual depth, capable of both great evil and extraordinary love. The tension between these capacities lies at the heart of Dostoevsky's work and his understanding of human fulfillment. Perhaps Dostoevsky's most enduring legacy is his exploration of the interplay between freedom and responsibility. He saw freedom as a double-edged sword, a gift that allows for moral choice and creativity, but also a burden that can lead to existential anguish. This theme is most vividly portrayed in the Grand Inquisitor episode of The Brothers Karamazov, where Ivan imagines Christ's return during the Spanish Inquisition. The Grand Inquisitor accuses Christ of burdening humanity with the gift of freedom, arguing that people would rather surrender their freedom for security and order. This paradox resonates deeply in the modern world, where the tension between individual liberty and collective well-being continues to shape our social and political landscapes. Dostoevsky's insights into freedom, morality, and happiness are not merely abstract philosophical musings, but deeply practical considerations for modern life. In a world increasingly defined by rapid technological change, social fragmentation, and existential uncertainty, his works offer a profound reminder of the enduring questions that define our humanity. What does it mean to live a good life? How do we reconcile the desire for happiness with the inevitability of suffering? What is our responsibility to one another and to the transcendent? In examining these questions, Dostoevsky does not provide easy answers. His characters are often deeply flawed, wrestling with contradictions and uncertainties that mirror our own. Yet it is precisely this complexity that makes his work so compelling. Dostoevsky does not shy away from the messiness of human existence. Instead, he invites us to embrace it, to see in our struggles the potential for growth, meaning, and redemption. In the end, Dostoevsky's life and work remind us that the search for truth, morality, and happiness is not a destination, but a journey. It is a process of continual questioning, self-examination, and engagement with the world around us. In an era that often prioritizes quick fixes and superficial solutions, Dostoevsky's depth and honesty offer a refreshing and necessary perspective. Through his exploration of suffering, desire, morality, and happiness, Fyodor Dostoevsky has left us a legacy that transcends time and culture. His insights challenge us to look beyond the surface of our lives and to engage with the deeper questions that define what it means to be human. In doing so, he not only illuminates the complexities of his own era, but also provides a timeless guide for navigating the challenges and possibilities of our own.